dispense with the same to allow then after the lunch break to hear the evidence, because we cannot assign time to hear only preliminary objections, dispense with them, then come back for opening statements. Let us handle them at the same time. So, County Assembly, your 30 minutes is long gone. However, with this new direction that I've given, the directive that I've given, I will allow you to put what is the case of the County Assembly. You have dealt more on the preliminary objections. Proceed to state your case before we allow the representation from the Deputy Governor to also give us their opening statement.
We must oblige.
That way we'll save on time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, our case is very simple. It's a case of a deputy governor who decides to use his office for personal gain. Is a deputy governor gone rogue. Is a deputy governor who has decided not to inspire the youth of this country. In my opening remarks, permit me, Mr. Speaker, sir, to refer to the book of Exodus, chapter 18, verse 21. Moreover, look for able men from all the people, men who fear God, who are trustworthy, and hate bribes. Equally, Mr. Speaker, sir, permit me to refer to Surah ya Pili, or the second chapter, verse 188 of the Quran. And they are taking of bribe, to thou were forbidden. For taking it and the devouring of men, substance worthiful bribes. And we have prepared for the disbelief among them and a painful moment. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the 29th, of the county government of Kisii, through the Guasco, advertises for a job for the commercial manager. The job is carried on the newspaper. The deputy governor gets to know about it, informs his friend, Mr. Joseph Mosati, whom he alleges he has been friends for the last 32 years, that here is an opportunity where your son can take or can be absorbed into the employment, makes arrangements on how to extort, defraud, and benefit with 800,000 shillings, creates a scheme where he meets the managing director of Guasco, informs her in advance that I have a candidate who will be presenting his application before you, convinces her or attempts to convince her that at the appropriate time I will do the necessary. And the necessary hearing being bribing the director of Guasco for purposes of return of a favor in favor of Dennis Mosati. Dennis Mosati is given the responsibility by his father to raise the 800,000 shillings. A young man, a poor man, a jobless man, a family man, a man who is destitute and desperate for a job, does all that is within his means, sells his salon so as to raise the 800,000 shillings, sells all his households, sufurias and everything else, so that he can raise the 800,000 shillings as sought by the deputy governor. Succeeds in that mission, raises the money even from his friends, and upon the success of the mission of raising the 800,000 shillings, forwards the same. The father is involved in that scheme, the mother is involved in that scheme, but finally the money lands to the deputy governor. Through the M-Pesa, through cash, the county assembly shall give evidence to that extent that yes, money was sent from the M-Pesa of Joseph Mosati, money was sent from the M-Pesa of Dennis Mosati, the complainant, and equally money was sent from the M-Pesa of Ann Musati. And the money all landed to the benefit of the M-Pesa of the deputy governor. Subsequently, on the same day, the deputy governor sends 100,000 shillings to one Lucy Wahito. Upon receipt of this 100,000 shillings, Lucy Wahito, the managing director of Guasco, is perplexed, wonders why the deputy governor has decided to be that generous. Upon placing a call to the deputy governor in search of the reason for the forwarding of the remittance of the said amount, the deputy governor merely makes a statement. You remember what I told you? This is meant for what I had told you when I summoned you in my office. The good Lucy Muhito decides to resend the said amount, refuses to be influenced, refuses to be bribed, refuses to be corrupt.